The first thing that we need to do, guys, is define what is hype. And this is an individual thing. What do you think defines hype?
I think hype is a new sort of trend. So when you have a trend, it's something that's popular. You see it in Vogue, you see it in Elle or whatever. And with hype, it's a certain brand. So you're saying, if you don't wear this or this brand, so you don't wear Supreme, you don't wear Palace, then you're not part of the cool kids.
Okay, so there's a definition between trend and hype is a sort of superior or dependent on your...
A more extreme version of a trend.
If you got a rapper like A$AP Rocky wearing Hood by Air and everybody wears Hood by Air, you know, he created this hype.
Hype is something that is not lasting long enough, and especially nowadays with like all the social channels. So something is gonna be hype a couple of weeks before the release. It's gonna be hype on the day of the release, probably a couple of days after it, but it's gonna disappear. It's very ephemeral, I guess we can tell. Hype is not something that's gonna transform to classic.
You know, back in the day when you went to buy a shoe, you'd call up your FOOTLOCKER or you'd pop in and say, hey, when's this and this shoe releasing? And you'd wait for that shoe to release. And now brands don't announce things much in advance like they used to. They wait, they say, okay, this shoe's releasing on Saturday, so Monday, or no, 2 weeks before, we'll do a teaser. Then a week before, we'll fully announce it to get everyone hyped up.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the way the brands are playing the game now.
So what do you look for in a product then, if you're not so influenced by hype?
I'm influenced by hype.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
I look at other people, at influencer. I look how they look. If I like it, I wear it too. If I don't like it, I don't wear it. It's an expensive thing to be a hype boy, and that's the problem.
So, okay, I'm going to go back to Max with this one, and he can set it off. So, do you foresee the effect of hype diminishing or increasing?
I wouldn't say so, because hype is a thing that will stay around. It's just how will it work? So you will always have your, you know, like you have in music, you have the one-hit wonders and stuff like that. That's a hype thing as well. And in clothing, you'll have brands that are here today and gone tomorrow. I feel at some point the bubble is going to burst for brands that are currently hyped. You know, I think Supreme will... It won't go away, but at some point it'll just be over.
Does hype affect the culture in a positive or negative manner? Or is it both?
Positive and negative. Positive in the sense that it brings new people into the community, so people who wouldn't really be aware of, you know, Supreme, Palace, or, you know, Yeezys. You know, they come into the game and then they discover other things like New Balance or Asics or Saucony, stuff that's not hyped, but it's a gateway for people. So I think that's cool to get new people. I think it's a shame when you have people that come in just for the hype, and once the hype is over, they're gone. But, you know, you do get these few people that come into the scene through the hype, and then they stay for the love.
Sneakerness is also like an example of an event, a sneakers event, a street culture event that's gonna bring people together for different reasons. Some are gonna come for the hype and to be able to buy the last pair of Yeezys. Some other are gonna come and try to find the like deal from the 80s on the like Nike OG shoes. Some are just gonna come to listen to this kind of talk and learn more about some topics, some subject they never heard about. And I think that's a good aspect, that hype can be one of the elements bringing together all the others.
Yeah. Is this leading to a disposable generation? A fickle generation?
I think what's the downside of the hype as well is that people want to jump on the bandwagon. So you get people that try to capitalize on a hype, and that takes away a bit of the creativity because everyone's trying to do the same thing to make a quick buck.
But there is some other brand emerging, like Sonra. I know we have Hikmet here in the room, and those kind of brands don't really need the hype to put their product out and make their product selling out. So in a certain way, it all depends on the message you want to deliver when you're a brand and the type of consumer you want to reach out.
So Amos, would you think that in a culture of hype, it's it means that people who are less concerned about hype can stand out.
If you're just wearing hype things, nobody picks you out because you look like everybody else. And if you're not like all these hype kids, you're like the only one.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not the hype boy,
Yeah.
but you the hype boy because you're not the hype boy.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so it's definitely time for a bit of a Q&A.
Hey guys, what do you think about like brands on purpose going against the grain and going against the grain of the hype kids and of the hype beasts and saying, oh, you know what, forget about them, don't be a hype kid?
They're making fun, but who is gonna read the funny article they're pulling out? The same hype beast, the same fuckboys, the same kids, the same consumers. So it's kind of hypocrite, I'm gonna say, but it works, and I think that's the purpose of it.
They take it too seriously at some point because at the end of the day, it's just shoes, just clothing.
Hey, what's up? Actually, that sounds really a question, but more like you know, like a new thought. I think we should like look at hype as a marketing tool, which is actually not that easy to to handle. If you look at the rollout of the Stan Smith, I don't know whether you guys remember that. I mean, it was pushed at the Fashion Week in New York, right? So there was like a 2-year rollout till the hype peaked. And I think this is like the really big challenge for the labels to just generate hype and then using the hype and really, make something substantial.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that some people figured it out how to balance it properly. So you said the Stan Smith. The Stan Smith is a great example. For me, it's a shoe that I personally like that I wasn't that aware of before the hype, but it was a shoe that for me wasn't ruined by the hype.
A round of applause for Foot Locker and for Sneakerness for hosting this event.